What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where you already know we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Got a guest on today that was caught up in the streets, caught up in that gang life as a youth. But you know what? The real question is, did he turn his life around? Anyway, brother, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and let's talk about you.
All right, what's going on, people? I'm Saint Naheem. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm in Dallas, Texas right now, but man, it's good to be on your show, man. I've seen a lot of your episodes, man. I'm enjoying what you're doing to help the youth, steer them in the right direction. And like I said, all you can do is what you can do to help, man. It's up to the individual to want to change. That's me, man.
Let's talk about your life, man. What was your life like growing up?
Growing up, man, before I got into the streets, like I said, I was in the basic video games, Mario, playing with Pokemon. But like I said, before I got into the streets, man, I really kind of got pushed into it because growing up, like my dad, he had me around different people, and we was always kind of like in gang neighborhoods, but I wasn't involved until I got older. You see, so when I got older and started watching these hip hop music videos, and that was one of my main downfalls, man, from watching these videos and wanting to be like the people in the videos because I was in that environment. And so I took advantage of it. But like growing up, I had a pretty decent childhood. My parents, they ended up splitting up, and I think that's another one of the issues that caused me to go one way because my dad, he wasn't really a man of God. He was in my life, but he wasn't necessary. His main focus for me was just to work, to stay out of trouble and just to work. But as I got older, I realized sometimes that type of instruction without the correct guidance, and you got these people and your friends and peer pressure over here, and you got a father figure who just wants you to work and not really telling you why, and not telling you about the streets that you walk into school and doing this, you see in the streets, but nobody's really telling you about them. And so my curiosity, that's what got me in a lot of trouble. And so I got into gangs like around 13, 14, joining the Bloods in St. Louis off of Farland Avenue. And like I said, going to high school, I went to Beaumont. It was mainly a Crip high school in a Crip neighborhood. So the Bloods was outnumbered, but we just had to stand on our own, hold it down. And then I got into a gang fight up at the school, got suspended from school, got put out of that school, and then I'm going to another school and just a whole bunch of chaos, man. But that's pretty much what led me to getting locked up as a juvenile later, and then getting locked up in adult facilities after that, man.
Let's talk about this, right? Because we talked a little bit about, joining the gang, becoming a Blood. You're in St. Louis. Pretty dangerous over there, right?
Man, it's always been bad. But when, like I said, when you were a kid, you don't really pay attention. But as you get older and you start being the one to commit the acts of violence, it almost you. I got desensitized to it, man, because I ended up smoking PCP. I was on ecstasy. I was selling drugs. I was just moving so fast in life, man, and had so much money. Like people always used to tell me slow down, man. But I'm the type of person I am. I've been an extremist, man. So I always went extremely hard in whatever I do, man.
An extremist. But, when young kids join gangs, you talked about this, watching videos and all of that. Was it kind of like the neighborhood now as you start to get older that the kids are like, yo, this is what it is, man. This is what we're going to be?
Man, it just kind of like, what's the best way to explain it? The link first to start off with we just hanging out with your homies, but we're in a Blood neighborhood, and so when you end up joining, it just become your family, man. But it's not like these are new people. These people you grew up with from middle school, from elementary school, and so it's more like a family to me. And it was more, I end up getting closer to them than closer than my own family, you know.
Let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
You're growing up. It's kind of the kids that you're hanging out with, like, hey, what's up? Do you feel like, yo, I'm a gang member because I want to be a gangster? I want to start, committing violence, or is it just like, yo, it's just a cool thing to do?
Not necessarily either one of those. Like I said, when I went to school, well, majority of Crips, they wearing their colors and they talking and they up there claiming they gang, and so we from a neighborhood, we Bloods over here. So I necessarily didn't even want a gang bang per se, but ended up with people trying to enforce their will on me, and I'm not having it. So when I ended up fighting in the school, and then after I get my first taste of, like, you know what I'm saying, just gang violence, I liked it, you know. And so that's just what it was with me, just gang banging. From then on, we see a person from a different set, you just get on them, man.
What's it like to just get on someone that you don't know? Does it bother you inside, or is it just, it's fun?
it was fun, and then it got to the point like you don't care, because if you don't do it to them, then they gonna do it to you. And so that's just how it was, my reality, just
How about
looking back at it.
consequences? You ever think about consequences when you're doing this type of shit?
Consequences, yeah, man, getting shot at, getting killed, but living fast. Honestly, when I was young, I didn't even think I'd make it to live to see 21.
Ever feel like you valued your life, or did you not value your life as a young man?
I would say since I got away with so much stuff, I kind of didn't care. And so when it came to value in my life, I would look at it like, if I die, I'm just gonna die. I didn't really think about the consequences until, let me see, I had to be out of the streets to really start actually thinking about the consequences and getting away from the people who was doing so much stuff, and me having to stop doing what I was doing and to look at my life. And when God talked to me, he was showing me my path, because like I said, I got locked up in 2005 as a juvenile. I was in a high speed chase. I got out. The police tasered me, so I didn't got tasered. They rolled out the spikes, blew out the tires, and so before getting locked up as a juvenile, I was in a gang fight. I think a couple days before that, fighting with some Crips, and so ended up from there and ended up being locked up. But before in that time between the gang fight, me getting locked up, I had also ran away from home because my mom was going to separate from my dad again, and she was going to move back to Dallas, and I didn't want to go back to Dallas. And so that's when I ran away from home. So all of these little things, it just kept escalating, one thing after another. And me being disobedient, I'm looking at my life now, that was a big part of how I ended up where I was, man, being disobedient to my parents, trying to do my own thing as a child, you know?
I asked you, them questions for a reason, right? You got this rapper Fulio, he just gets killed down in Florida. You got Young and Ace, rapping about it. I mean, they were going back and forth. Fulio's been shot, and now finally they shoot him and they kill him, right? And that's why I ask you about the consequences. When you're a young kid, are you ever afraid? You're in this gang violence, you're involved in this gang situation, this gang neighborhood. Is there ever a point where you're kind of worried, like, damn, I might die? You said you didn't think you'd make it to 21, but do you
Right.
ever sit back and think, like, man, I don't even really care if I die?
To be honest, no, man. You just living fast, and the big thing, my issue and my downfall for me, and I know a lot of other youth, is their idolatry and love of money. When you people feel like they get money, they feel like they are untouchable. And a lot of people, that's what lead them either to prison, that lead them to their graveyard, that lead them in a hospital, that lead them to being handicapped from being shot. It leads them to a lot of bad places because of the idolatry and love of money. Their values kind of go out the window of who they're supposed to be and how they conduct themselves, and they start just doing whatever for the money, man. And like this hip hop, like you mentioned, that's what it promote. Is get all you can, be greedy, do this, do that, and it's promoting this false lifestyle that lead people to the grave and into the prison, man.
You talked about that money thing. When you're getting money, you feel like you're untouchable, right? You're that dude. And I say this all the time, right? And not to be cliche, but hey, the image that you project is the image that you have to protect. So, how could Fulio walk away from that life? How could Young and Ace walk away from rapping about people getting killed and, being a part of violence? How do you walk away? Because when you walk away, what are you walking away from? You're walking away from all that money, all that interview money, all them YouTube video money, right? You're going to leave that behind?
Yep. When it comes to it, like people, when you promote that image, like I say, you're gonna be tested. And like I said, it's up to you how you gonna handle it. Either you gonna fold or you gonna stand on it. And when you stand on it, you may have somebody else that ain't gonna bend on their end either. And so that lead two of y'all, and it almost come down to, it could come to a shootout. It could come down to some violence, you getting hurt. But like I said, is you gotta watch your words, because death and life are in the power of the tongue, man. And so if you promoting that image, and like I said, you're gonna have to protect it. The same thing with people walking around with the jury. I done the jury thing, but when you have the jury on, you're gonna have to keep a gun. You're just making yourself a target unnecessarily. And you got to ask yourself, is this worth me losing my life over a chain or a watch or a ring or some money? Just because it's not worth it when you get done with it, man, honestly.
You get ganged up. How do you get in that gang? Do they beat you in, or are they just like, all right, man, you're one of us?
Not necessarily. A lot of my homeboys, we just fought. And so we just banged it out. And after, like I said, after we banged it out, we cool after that. But it's not really, that's just pretty much the end of it. But then from there, you pretty much, now your focus shifts to your enemies. So it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then if somebody tries us, this is what we're going to do,
Talk about your enemies. These are people that you don't even know. They just got a different title. They're Crips. Some of these cats you don't even know, but they're your enemies, right?
Correct. Correct. But then some of them we did know because we went to high school with them. Like I said, it was predominantly a all Crip high school. So you would say probably like maybe 20 Bloods, not even that, and you probably dealing with maybe 200 Crips, probably a few GDs. So that's pretty much what it was. And so if you couldn't hold your own, you was gonna be fooled, man.
Do you feel like you loved being a Blood, you loved being a gang member more than you loved yourself?
Honestly, yeah, at that time.
See gang members all the time, right? Man, dudes are willing to die, right, for their gang, right? They're beefing with
Right.
these other people, and a lot of times it ain't even about no money. It's
It
just
ain't about
we
no
got
money.
beef with them. That's it. We just,
Foolishness.
we're gonna kill this dude for nothing.
Foolishness, to be honest, man. A lot of it is based on foolishness. Some of it could be on females. You talk to this girl that this person like, or you say, for example, some guys that get caught in the wrong neighborhood trying to go over a female house. And that's another thing. This sexual immorality, man, it really got to stop because a lot of people, that's their downfall behind a female that they're not even married to. You see what I'm saying? So they putting their life on the line for a female. If it ain't money, it's something else.
You end up getting arrested, right? How old are you the first time you get arrested? You go to jail. You go to a kid's jail, adult jail. How old are you at the first arrest?
First time I was 15. They sent me to the St. Louis Juvenile Center, and so that was right after the police. We had the high speed chase, rolled out the spikes. I ended up getting tasered, and so they took me there. They let me out. I did like less than a week in there. That was my first time, and then they put me on probation. And so with my life, man, from there I took it easy, but then I fell right back into it, and so I ended up getting locked up
Stop
again.
you. I want
Go
to
ahead.
stop you, brother. I want to ask you about that juvenile facility. Some of these dudes think that shit's a game until they get there. Some of the craziest places I've been were in juvenile, whether it was in the county jail on the minor floors, whether it was in, we had different little juvenile places here, Westfall Road or North Haven. There was some wild kids there doing some wild shit to other kids. What was it like in St. Louis? Was it ganged up? Was there violence there?
And when I was locked up in juvenile, I didn't really see too much of anything. I wasn't even there that long, and so I was playing cards, I played spades with a dude. But when I got they let me get a book, and I had got the Bible, man. When I was in the juvenile, when I was in my cell, that's like the first time I had felt like calm and peace, man. Just reading the Bible and just chilling. But then playing spades and just congregating with different folk, it wasn't really too ganged up in there in the juvenile on the level I was on because I don't know, man. It wasn't like the streets to me. Now I heard my other friends, they got into different fights and different stuff, but nobody tested me or tried me though.
Let's talk about the fact that you're 15 years old and they got you in a jail. What does it feel like at 15 to be in jail, to lose your freedom? You're losing your freedom. What's that feel like inside? Sad?
Man, I felt stupid because then again on top of that, I was hurt because like I said, I just got tased, police beat me up. I just got into a gang fight after that, and then I think the one thing I was kind of worried about was my parents if they seen my tattoos or not, because they didn't know I had the tattoos or whatever. I was hiding them because I was wearing long sleeves around them, and so the juvenile people, they told them I had tattoos or whatever. My parents, and they was like, "What are you doing?" And then I was just like, I couldn't really say nothing, but that was my main concern, man. Me finding out I had tattoos or whatever.
So you end up getting out of the juvenile center and you're back at it within no time, right?
Pretty much, man. That's what it seemed like. And then it got worse because, like I said, from there, I think a lot of people, when they get locked up and they get out, if they don't get on the right path, they feel like they understand the system now. And so it kind of make them worse. They feel like, okay, I'm not going to make that same mistake. Or they build up this mentality like, I'm going to continue to try to get over. Or I'm not going to do this. They got me locked up last time. I'm going to move smarter. Even though if you keep doing the same stupid thing, you're going to get the same result, no matter how you try to bend it, you know?
You're back out. What do you graduate to? What are you doing now?
Man, start selling more drugs. Let me see what else. Still gang banging, but then 2000. Let's see, that was 2005. Let's see, 2006. I get locked up for the gun, riding around with a gun, a 357. And so I got caught by they, in St. Louis. In different cities they got different task force of different police. And so I got caught by the Mobile Reserve. And then with the gun case after that, I was 17 at that time. And so they ended up sending me to the adult city jail. And so I'm locked up in there. much. We in the pods, like maybe 20, I say 15 to 20 dudes in a pod, and then get to talk to the lawyer. My lawyer come. I ended up getting a bond on that. And so when I was locked up, and I think it was only like maybe one fight, nobody tried me anything. And so from there, I ended up getting out and getting 3 years probation for the gun charge. Still didn't learn.
You mentioned we'll get there in a minute. You mentioned
Okay.
that no one tried you. No one really tried you in jail. You ever been tried in the street?
Yeah. And then that's when I had to take off on people, you know? And so, like, when I was, like I said, when the first fight, gangbang fight, official one that I had, I was in high school. And so people trying me at high school, you know? And so that's why I just got to take off on people and then just handle my business. And then from there, it's pretty like, people look at you different if they know you can handle yourself. Because like I said, we was always outnumbered. So if they wanted to catch you in the bathroom, they could catch you in the bathroom. I know we used to smoke cigarettes in the high school. We used to shoot dice in the high school. And so if you couldn't hold your own, the way that these high schools were set up in the city of Beaumont, you can get your head busted. You can get jumped real quick by a different game because the way it's set up. And they got different security guards, but the security guards, when they walk, they're not always paying attention. You got to watch out. Somebody may be watching the bathroom door while we in there shooting dice or smoking cigarettes or whatever. And so you always got to be on point, man.
Talking about Beaumont. That's in Missouri, right? The Beaumont that
Yeah,
you're
St.
talking.
Louis. Yeah.
Then you said after the gun case, you end up you don't stop. You keep going. You're still in the street, still in the street life. What are you
Keep
doing
going.
now?
So now, like I said, I ended up catching a dope case in 2007. I ended up I got locked up actually at the McDonald's. And so when I got the paperwork back from, well, I looked at the transcript or whatever, it said a confidential informant had told them I was going to the McDonald's to make a sale. And so that's where they ended up picking me up at. And from there, my probation officer, she never violated me, which is crazy. And like I said, I just pled guilty to that charge. They ended up giving me 3 years to run concurrent on probation to in addition to my gun charge. So it was running them at the same time and she didn't violate me. And so from there, still didn't learn. So by 2008, I started smoking PCP, I think around 2008. But real crazy drug, but like dipping cigarettes in like the call it embalming fluid, but it's not really necessarily embalming fluid, it's just PCP. But around 2008, I had got locked up in 2007 August. I got locked up in 2006 August, and so 2008 August started coming around, and guys started talking to me, letting me know this is going to be my third strike. They're not playing with me no more, and so that would have been it for me. And so 2008 August, I was like, I'm gonna get out the streets. And so I started telling my clientele, like, don't contact me no more. When August hit, I'm done with everything. And so I just started to walk the straight and narrow. I went to like a career center. So I went to like a career center to try to get my skills up, type in. Go ahead.
I want to stop you for a minute. We're gonna get
Yeah.
to when you change your life, right?
Okay.
With the PCP thing, right? It's absolutely crazy. How do
Yeah.
you get involved in that?
I had a older homie, man. He used to always smoke PCP. I used to drink with him at first, and then, like I said, with the drinking, and he always talk about how high it was our PCP. That around that time, I was just doing like maybe X pills. I was selling them. I also used to take some, and so the PCP, I tried it, and then I'm like, oh dang, I really didn't think much of it because it was just dipping a cigarette into some type of fluid, but you'd be high. So then I ended up getting hooked on that, man. But yeah, it's a crazy drug, man.
Hooked on that. What are you doing? I mean, I've seen some people do some crazy shit on different drugs. I mean, is it making you bug out?
You could be talking to yourself sometimes. I done fell asleep in the snow before, man. I done fell in a damn ditch. All kind of stupid stuff, man. But for the most part, minus the minor episodes, I was just able to be high. Some people couldn't even tell I was high or not, man. But sometimes you could have an episode. It just really depends on the person.
And you're a gang member at this time, so you're not even aware of what's going on. And there's a reason why I
Exactly.
asked you that, right? You fell asleep in a snowbank. You know,
Yep.
one of your ops, which they call them ops nowadays, right? One of your
Yeah.
ops could have stood up and blew your brains out, right?
And that would have been the end of it for me, man. Because like I said, I didn't know Christ at the time. I would have been in hell, man. Feeling real stupid and sorry. I got tricked out of my life. that would have been it for me, man. But I'm glad God had another purpose for me, so I can try to help somebody else, man, that'll listen.
So one day you're like, look, man, this is it. I'm done. You make this decision and you stick to it.
Stuck to it, man. Just had to
That's what
ride
you
it
do. You
out.
go to this career center and what's your goal when you're going to this career center and trying to get your life together? What's your ultimate goal at the time?
Really just get my skills up. Like I said, I'm taking computer classes. They had me taking like readiness, interviewing, getting interview tips, and so from there, it's really just to get a job. Like I said, a lot of time when I was in the streets, I also had a job too. I used to change. I worked at a Jiffy Lube, so I changed oil. But in 2007, when I caught the last case, after 3 days, no call, no show, you automatically get fired. And so once I had got fired from that job, that was pretty much, I got more involved in the streets after that. So I knew how to work because, like I said, I had a job before. So the whole thing was like, okay, I'm gonna get my skills up, get a job, and then end up probably going to college, man. And so that's what I ended up doing. That's the path I took.
You end up going to college?
Yeah.
Tell the people what you went to college for.
2009, I started off like a communications major at Flow Valley Community College in St. Louis. And then from there, when I went down to Dallas in 2009, after I got off probation in September, in December when I got down, I ended up changing my major to business management. And so I ended up graduating in 2013 and with an associate's degree. And then I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in business.
That's what's up. So dudes could come from the street and get a college education still, right?
Yeah, you can do it. Put your mind to it.
Was it easy?
Man, I always been smart, man. I just used to make stupid decisions. So I wouldn't say it was easy. I would say it would be challenging. But when I look at college now and the way and the path that I took, I probably would have took a different path this time. I really would have focused on entrepreneurship more in the beginning. And if I would have did college again, I would have only took courses that were relevant. Because a lot of these college courses, they are a waste of time and a waste of money. And so people end up taking out these student loans. Say, for example, if I'm going to school for business, why am I taking a history class or why am I taking uh, psychology? It's different stuff, man. But a lot of these classes are not really needed because they don't necessarily give you the life skills and the hands-on training that you need. And so if I did the college thing again, I definitely would have took like accounting. I definitely would have took Excel spreadsheets again. I definitely would have took the beneficial classes, but I wouldn't be focused on getting a degree because a lot of these jobs now, they really just want you to have the experience. Your degree don't even matter.
My point is this, that dudes that are from the hood, dudes that are caught up in the street, you can get out and you can do
You
something
can get out.
prosperous with your life, right?
You
And
can do
you know,
it.
my experience in life, you know what? Hey, things that come easy ain't worth shit in the end, right? That's why I said, was it hard? Yeah, you got to put in some hard work to get that education, right? But it
Yeah, it's
pans out in
challenging.
the end.
Yeah, it definitely got me around a different group of people, because like I said, with your circle and your surroundings, I went from hanging with people that's gang banging, violence, this, that, and then I'm around these people now who family, they got money, they got the college, so it's different environment. Being around a different group of people, and where you got these different college kids, all they really want to do is party. I could party with them, but they don't know my background from nothing. You hear me? But it's just amazing you can get around different people once you get out that environment and you start seeing different things, getting exposed to different things, and it help grow your outlook on life, man.
There were times when you miss the streets when you were in college, you're like, damn, man, I'd rather just be doing that, man. This shit's too hard.
Oh, I ain't missed the streets because I know what come with it. And like I said, I keep track like all my homeboys like from 2006 to now, and I look at how many dead. It's like over 40 of them, man. And a lot of their murders is unsolved in St. Louis. So maybe I think two of them solved. So then you got their families, they probably still grieving. And like I'm like, damn, that could have been me. And it's like all these people that's dead and gone, and the ones that's not dead and gone, if they still in the streets, they in and out of prison. And then the other ones, they still in prison. And so it's like, what made me so special? And it's just like you have to make that decision. You have to change your surroundings. And if you don't choose God, you're not gonna have nothing. Because you gotta think your money can only last you so long. And what you gonna do when you ain't got no money? Are you gonna bend and break and go back to what you do? Or you gonna stand strong and have a reason to believe in, carry on?
What are you doing now, brother?
Just working on my like I said, my business, helping people. I done helped like 100 people with my website. It's called saintnahim.com, and just helping people learn how to win with God, health, and money. Cause like in November last year, me and my wife, we paid off over $200,000 in debt. And so I'm helping people if they want to learn how to win with God, like building that foundation, how to win with health, like when it comes to learning what to eat, what not to eat. I had lost like 30 pounds, just changing up my lifestyle, choosing organic foods, different stuff, and then learning how to win with money, man. Because a lot of people don't know how to budget. A lot of people, they don't know how to protect their finances. And so helping people with that, man. So that's what I'm doing now, besides doing homeschool with my son. So that's my life right now, man.
Homeschooling your son. How old's your son?
He 10.
The 10-year-old son. I'm going to
Yep.
assume that you don't let him listen to R&B, hip hop, or anything like
No,
that, right?
no, and I'm raising him totally different. Like he's in the Bible. We read the Bible together. We don't watch this mindless entertainment movies with him. He's not listening to hip hop. And like I said, when we went to St. Louis, when I did go, I didn't have them all around in my neighborhood because I know what come with it, you know. So I keep him totally different, totally. And I also talk to him about the street, so he know about what I done been through. He know about, you know what I'm saying, where I came from, and I let him know these are the consequences. And I show him my friends, like when they pop up on these news articles, like I got this partner, he just caught a murder case, so I got this partner, and I show him like these are the paths. How it don't take much for Satan to trick you out your freedom or your life, and he understand it. But when I was growing up, see, my parents didn't have those type of conversations with me because my parents weren't in the streets, you know. So
The advice you'd probably give to some parents right now to have these type of conversations with their kids, right?
because if you don't have them, somebody else gonna have them with them, and they might not gonna have the best interest for your child. And even with these schools, like I'm glad I can homeschool my son because they're pushing a lot of agendas in the school that I don't agree with, you know. And so if you got your kid, if they're at the school 8 hours a day, you gotta make. Can you imagine all the stuff that they teaching them? And you don't know. And a lot of kids they get into trouble just going to school. They end up getting into fights. They can end up joining gangs in school. They can end up trying different drugs, and they got this fentanyl out here. I done lost like maybe three friends to fentanyl, and so these different drugs they just getting more and more hardcore as the years go on, and you never know if your child gonna be foolish enough or peer pressure into trying these drugs, and that could be the last time you see them, you know.
Sad reality. So, Naeem, before we get ready to go, man, what message would you give to kids that are young kids? They're growing up in St. Louis. You know, yo, I'm in the neighborhood. I want to be a blood. What would you tell them, bro?
I would tell them to repent. I would tell them to stop touching Satan's stuff. And when I say stop touching Satan's stuff, I mean Satan's stuff is anything. Satan come to steal, kill, and destroy. And so you have to think about it. What you doing, where's it gonna lead you to? And then I would tell them also to choose Christ over everything, man. If you haven't got baptized, I would tell them go get baptized. Because if you die tomorrow, you want to make sure your salvation is secure. And a lot of these things are temporary, man. The money it come and go, the women it come and go, the fame it come and go. And so at the end of the day, when you left on Judgment Day, only thing if you're not covered by the blood, you in trouble. You got to have some representation, and that's who Jesus Christ is for us, who died for our sins. But a lot of people, they just don't want it. They think it's too hard to grasp just by believing in something. But like I tell people, you can't see the wind, but it's there though, you know. A lot of these things you can't explain it until you have an experience for yourself. But like I said, these temporary things, they're not worth it, man. So that's my advice, man.
Well, listen, brother, this is the deal, right? I mean, you were a young kid caught up in a very dangerous city, very dangerous place, former gang member. You catch a couple little short bids, and you know what? You end up turning your life around, man. A lot of kids don't wake up. A lot of kids don't see it. A lot of the foolios in this life are just that, fools, right? They don't wake up and say, damn, man, I got a bunch of money now, and you know what, man, I probably should change my life before I end up dead. It's almost like their goal is, I'm just living to die. So, definitely, man, hope that this hits somebody, man. And they say, you know what, man, maybe today's the day. I don't want to be in the street no more. I didn't expect to get a sermon today, brother, but we appreciate it.
Already, man.
And the one thing I want you to do is plug your stuff, man. Tell people where to find you, man.
Yeah, they can go on my website at saintnahim.com and they can connect with me on there, man. I got music on the contact page. I got a free ebook if you just sign up for that. That'll give you all the tools you need for the foundation and to take it to the next level. If you need help building your website, I do website. If you need help with marketing, but like I said, I've been working for the radio. I was working for the radio station for a long time, man. So when I left them, I still got those same skills. So I know how to market stuff. I know how to do websites. And so if you need some help with any of those services, just go to saintnaheem.com. I'm not too much on Instagram, but I got a page though. But just hit me on my website. My contact information is on there, and I'll shoot you the link too.
Listen, man, I definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna put your links in there. Man, I'm glad that you turned your life around. And you know, the most important thing is, man, you're being a real father, real leader for your son. Tell people if you like what we're doing, you already know what it is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.